What's up, everyone? Today I'm going to be showing you not how to exactly, but how I did it. Relocate the PCM and Fusebox on an S197 Mustang. It's normally in this area here. I'm going to show you how I did mine. I put it down here right behind the passenger headlight. Let's get into it. Alright, so here's a better shot under the fender well of the PCM and exactly how it's mounted. So number one thing that people are probably going to freak out about doing this is you actually have to cut the edge of this piece of the PCM on this side off. So this whole mountain here has to be cut off, because when you put the bumper bracket back up there, this has to sit behind that, and if not, it sticks out to about right here, and it doesn't allow you to put that bracket on to hang the bumper. Another thing is, typically right here there's a piece of metal that goes straight up here to the core support area, and you have to cut that whole section out under here as well. It's still pretty rigid, I mean, with the little section there cut out, because there is this whole section here that is in there. But basically you just have to weld a bracket to where you're able to mount that side of the PCM in, and then the pretty much just the tension there, I mean, you can see that's pretty solid. I mean, it wiggles a little bit. I've put almost 1,000 miles on the car like this, and I haven't had any issues. And I also went and put some just like some double-sided Velcro type stuff, not Velcro, but like soft felt kind of material there between the PCM and the fender, so if it does rub, it doesn't scratch the paint off there. But I think another question is going to be, did I have to extend any wires? Because obviously, as you can see, I have the wiring harness here going to the PCM. I didn't extend any, but I did cut all the factory loom off and re-loom it in this nice DEI loom that they sell. As for powers and grounds, stuff like that, I did relocate the battery at the same time I did all this, but ground, basically just ran a bunch of my grounds to this here and just tapped a hole in the frame and put that there. Fuse box, little more complicated to mount, but I mean, you can see it's fairly solid. Probably would have helped to do another mount, maybe like off of this section here. But basically, I took the factory bracket and I cut a section of it off, and then I just welded a 90 right here. Let's see if I get it. There you go. So I welded a 90 on the side of it right there, and then just use an existing factory hole in the frame to mount that. And that's all that's holding the whole fuse box. But as you can see, it's pretty rigid. I mean, that's a good little wiggle there. And like I said, I've been driving this for about 1,000 miles now and have had no issues. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, if you put your fuse box here, you know, what happens when you change it, or when you need to change a fuse? But how often have you ever had to change a fuse? So that was my reasoning for putting it here. It clears everything, and also the bumper exit. All this wiring here, I know people are probably freak out about how close it is. It's about a finger width away. But I do plan on ordering a sleeve for the exhaust, and also the exhaust, even when the engine's running out here, isn't that hot as compared to closer to the turbo. But like I said, I do plan on ordering the sleeve for this. As for the fuse box wiring, I did reroute all of that. So a lot of it goes up and on the back side of the core support here. And let me lower the car back down, hold tight. All right, so fuse box wiring, like I said, comes up right here, right there, and just rides in front of the radiator along the top of the core support. Comes back down, goes down through here, and I got the tire on this side, so it's a little harder to see, but basically it comes out, and then I have it just going behind this piece of the fender, and then just rides the inside of the frame rail there and goes back into the cabin. I've seen where people will mount these like behind the PCM, behind the fender in this area, and they'll run all the wiring harness for the PCM and everything through that little hole back here underneath where like the battery normally sits, and then the harness comes right out here out the back. But that does involve having to extend the harness if you mount it here. And my reasoning for not wanting to extend the harness was because I did a complete build over the winter. So I did a new engine, new transmission, I relocated all that stuff, and the last thing I wanted to have to deal with was a wiring issue. So that's why I went this route. Michael Chambley, the guy that made my hot side for me, this is the way he's had his on his car for years, and he hasn't had any issues. So that's why I opted for this way. So if you're wondering exactly how to do this, or you need any more insight, you can reach out to me on Instagram at bmilteer94. I'm a lot more responsive up there. And I mean, just drop a comment if you see something that you don't quite understand, or you need more, you need it explained a little more thoroughly. Like I said, this isn't really like a how-to video. It's really just a what exactly did I do kind of thing. But hope this helps some of you guys, and if so, just drop a like, and be on the lookout for some more videos of this thing.